dating. And this is about, you know, I ended up meeting somebody basically, which is ironic because I made a video stating what turns me on about a guy. And I'm like, I like it when a guy pursues me, when he kind of pursues me a little hard, a little bit. Not too crazy, but just a little bit, you know. I like for a guy to be enthusiastic about wanting to be with me. Now, mind you, this in particular day, which I believe it was Monday. You know, some of y'all know that I collect books. I buy, you know, cheap books. I go to book sales, and now I found a place, a secondhand store where I can buy them almost just as cheaply as I would be able to buy them at a book sale. You know, so this in particular day, I was, you know, looking for books, but while I'm in a thrift store, I'm looking at other things. You know, I'm looking at you know, like entertainment centers, you know, where you can put your TV in it, and or you can probably even put books in it, what have you. Even though I plan on hopefully either reselling my books or, you know, whatever the case may be. But enough about books. Okay, so I'm looking for books, and the process is a little bit slower for me because I don't have a scanning. I think they use a scan tool, like for the advanced people that do eBay and Amazon. They have this thing where you can scan a book or you can scan a product and see how much it will be worth online. So that's more tedious. I mean, you might spend hours in a thrift store trying to do it that way. But because their books were relatively so cheap, all I have to do is just dump them in my cart, really, because that's kind of just how cheap the books are. But I did want to pick books that at least looked like they were in good condition. They had some books that, you know, were in okay condition, but they were kind of like, they didn't have the dust jacket to them. They kind of had that old look, you know. But again, I'm going into books. This is not about books. This is about a guy that approached me. Now, you know, he's like, you know, hey, lovely lady. You know how older guys talk. You know, hey, you know, my name is such and such, and you know, he basically kind of gave me some compliments. You know, he was kind of like a fast talker. I couldn't tell if he was nervous or not, and he was saying something like, "Yeah, I plan to go to Vegas soon," or I don't know if he said next week or next month. I mean, he was just like telling me a whole bunch of stuff in one sentence, and I'm looking at him like, okay, he doesn't look like he can afford to go to Vegas, number one. He's in a thrift store just like me, although I was in a thrift store for books. You know, I'm like, he looked like he was in a thrift store to buy some, I don't know, maybe some items or something like that. But he's talking like, you know, he got something going on for himself. So I'm listening to him, and okay, I'm like, I'm hearing the word Vegas. I'm like, well, that sounds kind of cool. Not that I plan on going with him, but it's cool that he can afford to go to Vegas. You know, oh, you being a gold digger, whatever. Call me whatever. You know, I have to assess things. When you get older, you have to, you know, you have to do a bartering system with people. So I'm looking at him. He, you know, as far as his look, he's not ugly in my opinion, but he's not someone that looked like he has much. He just looked like one of those people that don't look like he has much. But I had a neighbor, you know, that he had that look, you know, where he looked like if you didn't know him, you would think that, you know, he didn't have much, but he had a brand new car. You know, it wasn't, you know, it was a Ford, but he had a brand new car, and he stayed in my neighborhood, which is typically, I guess, I don't know, maybe lower middle class, maybe, I don't know, something like that, or middle class. It all depends. But he looked poor, basically. My neighbor looked poor, but he actually had, you know, money coming in, and I think a pension and all this other good stuff. So some people can have a certain look, but they can really have some things going on for them. So he's fast talking me. He's fast selling me. And so I'm trying to concentrate on these books. I'm trying to, you know, look up the book online. I'm trying to see how much each book is worth, and I got to the point where I'm not going to do this with every book, but if a book looked like it might be worth something, I'll go ahead and not scan it, but I'll go ahead and just hurry up and Google it, or do an Amazon search or an eBay search, what have you. So I'm kind of distracted anyway. He's fast talking. I really didn't want to talk, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, yet again, okay, I'm single. And I told a person, I'm not looking for no man. I'm not looking to date. And mind you, by me going to the thrift store, I'm already what I consider like a plain Jane. But this in particular day, I literally kind of like just threw on something. And because I'm going to the thrift store, so I'm not expecting to meet anybody in a thrift store. I ended up buying some, blankets for my couch. Some of y'all probably seen them loud colors in the background on one of my videos. And, I bought the blankets and they were like rolled up, and then they had paper around it. So the only thing you could see was the edge of the blankets. And I'm saying this for a reason, so you can know what design they are. So I bought like 4 of them. And I put them on my couch, but I didn't know. I should have washed them. I didn't think I needed to, because like I said, the paper was wrapped around it. So the only things that was sticking out was kind of like the edges of it, so you could see the design. And so they're brand new. I take them, I unroll them, put them on my couch, what have you. But I didn't know when I laid down, I had lint all on my on my clothes. Now, there's certain clothes I can wear where it won't really pick up the lint, but if I'm wearing something, like it'll get in my hair, like when my hair is kinky, it already attracts lint when it's in a natural state. So I'm saying all this to say, even though my hair is like more like in a high top fade style right now, even though I plan on putting braids in them soon, or doing something with the top of my head, or I might just, I don't know, put a curl in it or cut it, down, trim it down some more. I don't know. But the point is, I knew I had a little bit of lint in my head. I tried to get most of it out, but I'm like, I'm gonna just go ahead and rush out and go to this store, because I don't, I'm gonna just go to the store and go home. So I'm thinking, he probably didn't notice, because I think I got most of the lint out. I, put the stuff in my hair, brushed my hair, and whatever I saw, I just picked it out, and I'm like, I'll deal with it when I get home. So I'm saying all this to say that I'm not looking the best myself. I threw on a flannel, and, I'm just not looking the greatest in my opinion myself. But again, he probably thought I was nice. I mean, he even said I looked nice. So evidently, I looked nice to him. Okay. So we exchanged numbers. I was like, it seemed like he wanted to get my number, which I kind of didn't want to give him my number, but I did, because when I meet people in person, I don't really mind giving a person my number. When I meet someone online, I typically try to give them an app number, a phone app number. And I kind of, it's frustrating with that, because a lot of times when I give people an app number, when they want me to text them a picture, then we got problems, because the app doesn't really send pictures, or it'll send pictures in a way where the app is advertised at the bottom of the picture, or, it's just weird. So I end up eventually giving people my real number anyway. So I kind of like don't really deal with apps as of yet. I have to ask maybe one of my nieces, what's a good app to send pictures with. But if I meet someone in person, I will, for the most part, give them my real number. And I could tell he was trying to dance around giving me his number, but I ended up asking for it anyway, because I'm like, I don't know, I might just call him. I don't know. He seemed, very enthusiastic about, I guess, hooking up with me or whatnot. I needed some water. I was talking so fast. So I gets home, and was it that same day? I think it was the same day he ended up calling me. I think he called me twice. And I think I called him back. But in the midst of me calling him back, his voicemail had came on. And I was leaving him a voicemail. And then he was calling me as I was leaving him a voicemail, and when I try to switch calls, I don't know how to do that with my phone properly, so I end up hanging up on both parties. So I ended up hanging up on, the voice, on both calls. On me trying to, leave a message, I had to hang that up, and then I hung up on him when he was trying to call me back. Then he ended up finally getting through. And the conversation was, I can say, pretty good. It had a good flow. He's very good at conversating. Hold on. I gotta get comfortable. So basically everything, hold on. Everything that I like in a person courting me, he had down pat. Because like I said, with other guys, a lot of times they don't really do the whole courting thing. They're more like, after you swap numbers, they're more like, they'll call you, but sometimes the conversation could be dry. I don't like people to call me if they can't keep up a conversation. I don't want conversations to feel like I'm pulling teeth. But anyways, the conversation was a good flow. Right off the bat, he was telling me that, what do I want to do? He said he want to take me out. He was talking about all these restaurants that he liked to eat at, and they were good restaurants, and I named a couple of restaurants that I like to eat at, and, and I'm like, have you heard of this restaurant? And he'll say yes or no, or yes, And so as far as our taste in food, it seemed pretty similar. Every restaurant that I named, he was like, oh yeah, I like that too. So he was very agreeable. And he wanted to do the basic dinner and a movie date, So the plan is for us to meet up tomorrow. Today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. He called me, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, I believe. And we had a slightly more in-depth conversation. And again, he's good with the flow. He's like, he was like, when we meet up, if you need any gas money, just let me know. I got you. Like, he's one of those people that's always offering. It's like, you don't have to. And that's what I'm telling certain guys, like the quote unquote quote on point guys. They're not really like that. I'm not gonna go into detail, but I like a guy that, hey, I got you what you need. I don't want to feel like, I want you to act like you want it. I want you to act like you're into me. That's all. I mean, I don't want to talk to someone that make me feel like I gotta chase him down, At least make sure you have me before you start playing those weird games. Don't start acting like, you can do with or without me at the beginning of us even talking to each other, because I feed off of other people's enthusiasm. It's like, if I don't feel like you're enthused, then I'm not going to be excited about you, So I wanted to put this video out there because this is probably going to turn into a part 2 and a part 3. Now, I'm going to say something that kind of like, it disturbed me a little bit. I had a dream about him. I don't know why I dreamt about him, but I had a dream about him that he kept calling me. And, I was ignoring his calls. And I do that in real life. I ignore his calls until he just, until I'm ready to answer, or until he maybe called me about a third time or something like that. I don't necessarily do it on purpose. It's more like, okay, right at this moment, I don't feel like talking to him because I could be doing something like the dishes, or I could be in the middle, of doing something. So I'll call him back. But sometimes if he called me, I'll just answer the phone. Okay, hold on. Okay. But yeah, I'll just, go ahead and answer the phone. But in this dream, he was basically doing the same thing, calling me. And when I finally called him back, I was walking into my apartment. I don't know if it was with a friend or a family member, but I was pretty much telling my friend, now this is a dream. I was pretty much telling my friend or family member, like, I don't know about this dude. I'm pretty much like telling her that I don't think this is gonna work out between me and him, because he's kind of like he's overdoing it now. You know, he's a little bit too clingy. Long story short, I ended up calling him back like, well, why don't you come meet me? I forgot what I told him. I was like, well, meet me here, or why don't you? I don't know if I told him to come over. I don't know what the situation was, but for some reason he was trying to avoid just saying, yeah, I'll meet you. He kept on trying to change the subject. So for some reason, I end up looking into my closet. You know, I had like a closet in my living room. The way my dream was set up, my living room wasn't. It's not set up like that in real life. You know, but I had a closet in my living room, and when I looked in my closet underneath some like bags and clothes, now I really do have bags in my closet, in one of my closet. So that's kind of like true. Like I do have like bags, like if I don't use something for a while, or if I have a lot of mail or a lot of just junk, I just put everything in a bag and put it in the closet until I can figure out what I want to do with it. And like I had an inspection last year, and I just started bagging stuff up and putting it in the closet. But that's neither here nor there. But in the dream, he was underneath my stuff. He actually, because I wasn't answering my phone, decided that he was going to come into my house. Somehow he got into my house and was hiding in my freaking closet. And I'm like, my goodness. So this morning, I'm sitting up here. I ended up making me some breakfast, you know. And I go back to my phone. I end up looking at my phone. I had 3 missed calls from him. And I'm like, this dude is kind of, you know, like I like to be pursued, but I like for you to chill at the same time. Like after 3 calls, if I don't answer you, you need to wait until I answer you back. So I'm like, okay, 3 calls is kind of like my limit. And if I don't answer you, that means I'm busy, or, you know, or I just don't feel like talking at the moment, whatever the case may be. And so I usually, after I eat breakfast, if the weather permits, I will try to take a little walk around my complex. Or if I have some errands to run, I'll try to, go ahead and run a couple of errands or what have you. And so I'm like, let me go ahead and, because, work off some of this breakfast that I just ate. And the phone, so I end up getting a notification. Like I ended up getting a notification that a YouTube video, like sometimes when you're subscribed to people, anybody with a smartphone, when you're subscribed to somebody and they have a new video, at least my phone do it. It will pop up as a notification, and you can choose to play the video right then and there, or you can, wait. And I don't really, if I'm at home, I typically don't watch YouTube videos on my phone. I'm one of those, I'd rather watch YouTube videos on my laptop. I'm really not, a phone tablet person. The only time I use my tablet is if I'm reading an ebook, basically. But I will, if I feel like I just really want to watch something, sometimes I will use my tablet to watch videos. Like if I'm in a tub, I know that's kind of like ridiculous. Like, why don't you just relax in the tub while you got to be watching something? But sometimes, every now and then, like somebody was doing a live stream, so it wasn't like I could just put it on pause, and I didn't want to wait to get in the bath. So I'm like, well, I'll just bring the tablet and set it, and have it, where you can, kickstand it up, and I could just, put it to where I could still see it. I didn't have it on the ledge of the tub, but I put it on the commode. The lid was down and stuff. So, and I just drew the curtains back, and I was chilling in the tub. And when I want to look over, I can just watch the live stream. I know that's, unnecessary information, but that's how I do it. And then I would probably watch a video on my phone if I'm out and about. Or, sometimes I will respond to comments on my phone, but sometimes when people comment to me, I typically wait until I get home. Every now and then I could immediately respond to people that's commenting to me, but I just rather not. I might see your comment immediately, but like with one of my videos, I get a lot of comments on them. So I usually just clear out my notifications once I see it's about a certain video. So I just clear that out, and I don't know what they're saying. But, so I'm about to go ahead and, I'm doing a walk around my apartment because I'm like, I'm not about to go outside because it's snow on the ground and look cold. I don't feel like bundling up and I just want to walk around. So I'm watching a YouTube video on my phone while I'm walking around, and bam, he calls me again. So his number, pops up, and it has that option for me. The video end up pausing, and his phone number pop up, and you can choose whether you want to, accept or decline. And I just let it ring on through. And then when when the phone call ended, the video resumed playing. So I'm watching this woman's video, and I'm just, I'm walking around the house. So when I finally got done, I ended up calling him, and it turns out, oh yeah, he actually works for the Salvation Army. He doesn't work. I don't think he works for it, but I think he do deliveries. Like he's one of the people that I guess maybe unload certain things, and I think he delivers to the Salvation Army where they gather the stuff up. I think that's what he does. So he does work as a I guess he delivers the stuff at the Salvation Army. I don't know the pay rate, and I don't know the situation, but as we talk, he does have some strikes against him, and I would probably discuss that in another video. But as far as his courting, and as far as me feeling comfortable, like I said, if a person like you, and if they're happy with what they see, you don't really have to do anything. Like when I'm with certain men, it's almost like holding your breath. It's almost like when you eat and you got on that tight belt or something, and once you get home, you can finally unloosen your pants and breathe. I like people where I'm just comfortable. I don't have to suck nothing in. I don't have to, act like this. I don't have to be like that. I don't have to act like I have more than what I have. I can be like, yeah, I live in an apartment. Yes, I'm driving a car. It needs work on it. I do have another car, but that's a different issue. And I'm like, I gotta, wait until I get the money to get that car running the right way. And, with other people, you almost feel like you constantly got to, impress them and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm done. And then I'm like, and I'm doing this for people that don't even really, they not really into me like that. Or if they are into me like that, they on some bullshit, crap, or they try to, run some type of game. And I'm like, I'm tired personally. I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of feeling like I have to impress people that's not even worth impressing to begin with. They're not talking about nothing. Now, this guy right here, he's older. He's like 51. I think he's going on 52. And he asked me my age. And I told him my age. And he was like, you right up under me. And in my head, like, no, the hell I'm not. I didn't tell him that. I actually rolled with it. I was like, yep, I'm a little bit younger than you. I'm not in my 50s. I'm not in my 40s. And I'm going to just leave it like that. But the point of the matter is, at his age, I guess he kind of know the game. Some older men don't. Some older men, they try to play it like they still young, and they I don't even want to go through all that. But I've already concluded, because there's a saying that a woman know if she's going to sleep with a guy like within the first like 5 minutes of no. And that's somewhat true. That's somewhat true. I'm not going to say literally the first 5 minutes, but I will say after the first conversation, I knew that I knew I was going to friend zone him unless he tells me something worth unfriend zoning him. And so far, he has not told me anything that will lead me to believe that he's going to get up out of this friend zone. So he's the type of person, I already put him in a category. He's the type of person, because I am comfortable. He does have that really relaxed vibe about him. But one thing that I don't like about him is he doesn't quite listen. I told him when I get sleepy, some of y'all know, When I get sleepy, I don't like being interrupted. But I pretty much told him around the times that I get kind of sleepy. And he called me like maybe a half an hour prior to the time that I usually go to bed. And I'm like, that's cutting it kind of close. So I told him again. I had to reiterate it to him again. Like, I get sleepy around this time. It'll be best if you call me between this time in the morning. You might want to talk to me around this time, because even though I get up pretty early, I'm kind of either still, not fully awoke. And then when I finally do get up, I'm usually, you got to hop in the shower, or you're cooking, or you want to do your little exercises. So even though I'm up, I'm not really up for talking. So I pretty much, again, had to tell him what times will be best for him to call me. Now, I know he got a schedule too, and I know I can't just, if he tell me he works at a certain hours, and if he tell me he work from 9 to 5, I know that it probably wouldn't be cool to call him at 10. You see what I'm saying? So I just want him to be able to respect my hours. And that's another strike that I don't like. Like, are you either you're not listening, or you may be talking to multiple people, and you're getting confused about something. Maybe you thought that, I don't know, maybe you're getting the information mixed up between me and the other people that you might be talking about. So that's the only two things I could think of. Either you're forgetful, I don't know, maybe you're on some type of medication where, because some people, and I'm not making fun of that, sometimes, some people that's on medication, they can forget things, or whatever the case may be. So I tell you again, but if I have to tell you one more time, then you're deliberately just being inconsiderate. And then because I had that dream about him, that didn't make it any better. But I don't want this video to go on. I will keep y'all posted, most likely, if y'all interested in knowing, if y'all are interested in knowing how the date went and how things went. And if y'all want to know the strikes that he does have against them, then I probably will, say that in a different video. Leave a comment if you're interested. And if you made it this far. And